Now from Atlanta News First Plus, this is Sports Tonight.
Welcome to Sports Tonight here in this midweek. I'm sports producer Scott Pennyman, here with the great Ellie. Ellie, how you feeling?
Doing all right.
This has been a busy sports week. I mean, just from a whole different look. I mean, you welcome that when you get to March, right? I mean, so
yeah.
There's just so many things this time of year. I mean, we got the NFL draft. You got basketball, of course, you got going on. That's starting to ramp up, getting ready for the playoffs. And also this week, UGA held their pro day, obviously with the NFL draft on the horizon. All these big schools and these big colleges are hosting their pro days for NFL draft prospects. Today was the UGA pro day. I was there. Lots of, I tell you what, I think probably every team was represented.
I guess so. Everyone wants a bulldog nowadays.
A lot of talent out in Athens, and it's, I guess, a tribute and a credit to what Kirby Smart has built at UGA. Look, I mean, they've always had great players at UGA, but I think now when you consider what Kirby's done the last few years, winning national championships, them being among the best, there's a lot of NFL talent floating around out there. So obviously NFL scouts want to get out there, see what's out there. I know I saw Mike Tomlin out there today from the Steelers as far as head coaches go, but every team had personnel. I mean, I saw every jacket, every NFL team shirt, guys from the Packers. I know I'm just going by what I saw firsthand. Guys from the Packers, I believe, the Cleveland Browns, the Steelers had a bunch of representatives there. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've gone to a couple pro days before, but that was one of the more crowded pro days I've ever been at, which I guess it makes sense, right? So I tell you what. A lot of players talked today after the pro day. So we had Kirby and all those guys, and I think the good part is that, you know, what you'll kind of get from hearing the guys talk is their time at UGA really just prepared them for this moment. That was like a recurring theme amongst so many of the guys who were out there, was that what they go through at UGA as far as the practices and how hard the practices are, it made the games easy. And it makes stuff like this, when you have pro days, a lot easier too, right?
You want to hear from them?
Let's hear from some of the guys out there at UGA Pro Day this morning, just talking about their experience, showing their skills in front of NFL scouts.
They've been a part of a really good run. I think most of them have been part of the 46 of the last 48 games. They've come out on top, and there's a reason why we've won those football games. You have good football players, and that usually equates to that. All these guys played a role in those games, and they're tremendous young men, tremendous people. They've worked really long, a lot of them 22, 23 years towards this day and this goal, and this is a small step in that direction. You know, most of these guys performed at the combine, so I feel like today's a little anticlimactic in terms of they've already worked out, they've already done their thing. Very few of them are being seen for the first time, but they represent our program the right way. We hope to have a great draft class, and these guys are part of it.
You know a lot of these NFL coaches and GMs. What are some of the questions that they ask you when they're assessing the players?
The same general ones we get year to year. You know, what's their care factor for football? How important is football to them? Will financial opportunities change them? Are they dependable? Are they good people? And I think more and more the NFL's turned into getting guys that care about football and put team over self, and we try to promote those same things here. Well, it'll depend on the situation they get put in. I think they're all very versatile. They can all play safety. They can all play star. They can all probably play corner. At least a couple of those guys have done that in their careers. So it's a great group, but I feel like we say that every year. I mean, we're going to have another group next year of defensive backs that have an opportunity. So we got to keep replacing them. That's the hard thing, and it makes it a lot tougher when there's two third-year juniors coming out. It's much tougher to replace.
What kind of feedback do you get from NFL GMs and coaches when you have the opportunity to meet with them here about how Georgia prepares guys for the league?
They're very appreciative for the way that we push our players and the way we practice, and they really like the transparency with which they come to workouts, and not a lot of fluff here. They come in, they get their work done. We get done with our pro day probably faster than anybody in the country, and we have more players working out than anybody in the country. But we're very efficient and organized, and I think that's a business, which they are. They appreciate that. Just it started from the time that we offered him to now. He's ascended and aspired to be great, and nobody works harder than Ladd McConkey, and I think nobody on our team would say there's a better teammate than Ladd McConkey. I don't know that he's ever said a negative word about anybody. He's just such a good kid. He's such a hard person to find, and he's a great football player on top of that.
You talked about some of those intangibles with Ladd, but what makes him different as a football player?
In and out of breaks. I mean, his ability to separate is probably one of his key things. And in the NFL, there's less touching. You're able to run routes, and that's going to be advantageous for Ladd. He can come in and out of breaks, and I think when they watch him on third down, he's pretty elite on third down at getting open, and that keeps the chains moving.
What do you tell NFL teams about what they might be getting in Amarius Mims, given only an 8 career starts?
Yeah, I think the 8 career starts is a mistake. I mean, what does that matter if you block Travon Walker, Nolan Smith, Robert Beal, your whole career, and what does the 8 starts matter? Would you rather have somebody that started 27 games and played against nobody, or somebody that played against first-round draft picks every day in practice? I know which one I'm picking. So he started last year to me. You know, the year before last, he started almost every game in terms of he was in the second or third series. So, you know, I think when you look over the history, there's some really successful linemen that have been 3 and out that didn't start in that many games. But he's uber talented. He works really hard. He's very intelligent, and he's going to play a long time in the NFL.
Dipping back to Ladd, there were other SEC coaches that skipped meetings with him, that didn't go to games. You were there. What did you see back when he was 165 pounds with no other major offers?
A chip on his shoulder, a young man that wanted to prove everybody wrong, and you know, we bet on him to be a good player, and he did, and he was very productive, and we're fortunate to have kids like that in our state that get overlooked and work really hard, and luckily we have enough staff people here that we were able to find him.
What did Kamari mean to your defense, and how do you think his skill set will translate to the next level?
He'll be a tremendous player no matter where they play him. He can play the nickel slot. He can play safety. He can play corner. He's a ball hawk. He's super competitive. You know, some people have a knack for finishing and getting the ball out. That's one thing that he has a really good knack for finishing on the ball and getting the ball out. And corners are hard to find. It's a throw-first league, so you got to find people that can cover man-to-man, and he has the ability to do that. Watch the tape. I mean, the tape speaks for itself. Nobody really asks about Brock because they've already seen it. They've been to our practices. They know what he can do. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of questions about Brock Bowers' toughness or ability.
What can Zion Lowe kind of bring to the team?
Toughness, culture builder, extreme effort. He's probably on every one of our tapes we show the first day of practice of what we call getting out of the stack. You know, he covers down at a high level. He plays on field goal PAT. He played in punt protection, so he can do a lot of things for a team.
Just another opportunity to get in front of all these people, coaches, GM, scouts. Overall, I thought it was a good day. Thought all our guys came out here and competed, which, you know, y'all probably didn't expect anything less. So it was good. It was a good time. I think we all did well.
Feelings and emotion of being back in here again, going through this process.
Yeah, it felt like home. It was easy. This is the easy stuff. So, yeah, really enjoyed it. You know, get to see some faces, all my teammates, coaches, come back for a little bit. It's always special.
What do you think about all the noise around how well you've done from the combine and everybody saying Ladd's going to be moving up? How do you take that kind of noise?
I guess we'll see when draft day comes. I mean, everyone's always like, where do you want to go? Like, where do you think you're going to go? I'm like, I have no idea whoever picks me. So, I mean, it's kind of out of my control. It's up to them now. So keep doing all I can, and hopefully it'll all pay off.
Ladd, how often do you reflect on the journey and your starting point? I mean, that's kind of grown into a big story. Yeah. The guy that Kirby went and saw a lot of other coaches pass.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like it's kind of we're always going, so it's hard to sit back and think about it. But I guess like at the combine, kind of really set in. It's like this is pretty cool. You know, not there yet, but it's just another step along the journey.
You said this feels like home. What did the combine feel like?
It was different because it was like set up completely different, but I guess a familiar environment.
Of all the conversations that you're having with the team so far, what do they want to know the most about
Yeah, all of them been good, really. It's I mean, first they want to know if you know football, if you're smart, if you're intelligent, and then they just want to get to know you, really. That's the main thing. See what you're about, see what kind of person you are, what kind of teammate you are, if you're a leader, like really just who you are as a person. So they've all been good, been solid, so I thought that's been good.
Wherever you get drafted, wherever you go, what are they getting in Latin Coffee?
Shoot, someone's going to give them all they got, whether it's on the field, off the field. Whatever I got to do, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
Were you shocked by your 40 time of 4.39? I mean, was that something goal? What was your reaction when you saw that?
No, that was my goal. I wasn't upset, but when I saw the 4.40, I was like, dang, like hopefully the official's a little faster. But no, that was a goal. I wanted to hit the 4.3. I knew I could the way I'd been training and stuff. So yeah, it was good. I was super pumped about that.
What were you running before Andy? What were you clocking out at?
Well, it's kind of hard because like we time like our front 20s and back 20s, so like you know you have your PRs on both of those, and I knew if I combined them, I could hit 4.3. So.
Was it nice for Brock and Marius to give you the stage today?
Yeah, they just asked me. They was like, "We didn't get to see Brock." I was like, "Yeah, y'all see soon enough." So those boys will put on a show. So it'll probably be just as crowded as it was today when they go.
Brock joked that he wanted to race. He said he thought he could beat you. How fast is that guy though? And I'm sure at times you've seen him.
I think he made a lot of NIL money, so if he wants to put on, we can race. No, he's fast. I mean, I'm not gonna put numbers out there, but I mean, y'all see it. Y'all seen the GPSs he's clocked in the game, how he breaks away from corners, safeties. So I'm super excited to see what he runs. I know he is too. He wanted to be out here more than anybody. So
A lot of people talk about some of the things that you do well. What do you say is your best attribute as a receiver?
as a receiver, I think like I'm a guy that can kind of play anywhere and get the job done at all positions. I feel like I'm a great route runner, kind of find the holes, whether it's man, zone. So really just a guy that I guess they can move all around the field, play every down, get the job done anywhere.
Kind of Marcus, the same question, but with you and him both heading out the room, two of the older guys, you know, which guys are going to kind of step up as the leaders in that unit?
Yeah, there's I mean, I was looking at practice and looking at all the receivers. I'm like, there's a lot of y'all that can go out there and play and play big ball. So I don't know. I know there's going to be a bunch of them. So we'll see, I guess, as spring ball goes and fall camp. I feel like there'll be some guys that emerge as leaders, but definitely it's older guys that have been there and know what the standard is. I think they'll help the younger guys and the transfers that came in.
You talked about NIL money.
No, starting to get used to it, but yeah.
Why were you unable to work out today?
Just tweaked my hamstring a little bit.
So you have a private workout now held?
Yeah.
Yeah. When will that be?
Plan on early April. So. Yeah.
What are you looking forward about that? Getting to work out more in a private setting, and what are you not looking forward about this process kind of being extended a little bit because of your injury?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's like training for like the 40 and stuff, and I'd rather just be training for football. But I mean, it happens, getting faster. So, I mean, yeah, I'd rather be working out here with all the guys and doing it today. But stuff happens.
I think a little easier than Mary's will be there with you.
Yeah. Kind of anyone else who wants another workout come out and stuff. Happened about 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago.
Obviously, you didn't do anything on the field in Indianapolis, but walk us through that process and what that was like out there.
Yeah, Indy was cool. I mean, it was long days, but it was good. Just certain days we had like media, medical stuff, and then a bunch of interviews and meetings at night. So, yeah, it was good. It was long days, but it was good.
The conversations that you've had with the team so far, GMs, head coaches, scouts, whatever, what do they want to know the most from you?
I think a lot of it just is, one, questions about medical stuff. Like, I mean, that's kind of the main thing they dig into, like ankle, and because it just happened. And then also just what kind of person I am. And yeah, that's about it.
How difficult is this today? The teammates and the coach not here?
Yeah, it's tough to stand out here watching because I want to be out there and doing stuff, but it happens. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's fully 100%. I mean, I've been pretty good, but yeah, it's been good.
From the combine in here, have there been any results from your former teammates that you're like, you ran that fast, or you guys had that conversation, or it impressed you?
Yeah, I mean, we're all poking fun at each other. I mean, I was happy for Tyke and like Bull and all them. I heard Kamari ran good today too, and then Ladd obviously ran fast. I always tell Ladd we could race and I beat him, but I don't know about that. We'll see.
What is it about Georgia that prepares you guys as a team and has prepared you specifically for the league?
Yeah, I think it's all about the mindset and stuff coming here. I mean, we work so hard every single day, and I feel like that, like the coaching and the people are around, especially like practicing against. I mean, we're practicing against so many talented guys and gifted guys, so I think that helps a lot in the development process.
What are you gonna miss about playing here, practicing here?
I think I'm just gonna miss all the dudes. I mean, it's tough to go our separate ways, but it was awesome to see everyone again today, and yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna miss most.
And what was your reaction to Pierce Burton on the unfortunate medical retirement? Just reach out to him, say anything to him after?
Yeah, I reached out to him and see how he's doing. I mean, that's tough. I mean, just want to play. I mean, you always want to play football at the highest level, and he made it, and he was able to play one season, so it was good for him. But I feel bad for him. Yeah.
Right.
I was just walking around, just hanging out, I guess, talking to some people. So,
Brock, they say it's all on tape with you. Clearly, you did miraculous things at Georgia, but is there a competitive urge for you to compete in some of these field events, like you said, or is it just part of the duties of preparing for the NFL?
Yeah, definitely. I want to be out there competing against dudes, and I want to try to, beat everyone's time, which who knows? I don't think that's gonna happen. But
well, you mentioned that a second ago. You kind of set the bar for yourself with 4-3 now.
Yeah, but yeah, it sucks being on the sideline watching.
How many team visits do you have scheduled?
I'm still working on scheduling all those right now, so yeah.
Brock, on Oscar, obviously he had an opportunity to kind of replace you down the stretch, but now he's the old guy in the room. What advice have you kind of given him as stepping up as that next leader and as that next go-to guy at tight end?
Yeah, I think a lot of it he's learned through the last 2 years. I mean, it's just kind of instilled in him, and I hope he can translate it to all of the next guys. I mean, and just keep the tradition going at tight end.
And then with a guy like Jane Riddell, what have you gotten to see from him, especially coming in as a young freshman? What have you gotten to see from him as just a pure ability standpoint, and what do you think of as a player so far?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to watch much because I've only been back a week. But I mean, I heard he's been working hard and running fast in all the workouts. I mean, all I've heard is good things.
Have you researched the top 10 or 12 teams in the draft and done a little homework at who might be interested in maybe some of the quirks or differences between the teams?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't have much. I just have control of what I'm doing right now. So I mean, it's kind of hard to pay attention to all that. But I'm sure I'll figure it out closer to draft time.
Is there today?
Well, that was some UGA football out there today, but we can't forget about the men's basketball team. They're in the SEC tournament, SEC basketball tournament, and they're trying to work their way to the NCAA tournament. They had a really good start to the season. Then it was crash and burn late in the season. They struggled late in the season. They were struggling to hang on, and so they're probably not going into the SEC tournament with the greatest bit of momentum. But they're good thing for them tonight. They're playing a team who's considerably worse, right? Your squad, Ellie.
Where's my paper bag? Where do we have a paper bag on hand so I can put it on my head?
It's been a rough year for Coach Dennis Gates down there.
This team went 8-23. They have lost 18 straight games. They will lose the 19th tonight when they inevitably lose to the Georgia Bulldogs.
I tell you what, you just want to hear from...
I pissed off some deity Taft to root for this team.
Well, look, I mean, it was a down year. They made the tournament last year. It's been a down year this year. So, look, hopefully Coach Gates gets it together. Coach Gates coached my alma mater, Cleveland State. He did a really good job there. So, hopefully, I'm rooting for him to get things together over at Mizzou. I think he will. He's a really good coach. Coach Mike White over at UGA is going to try to have his guys ready to knock them off. I tell you what, let's hear from UGA men's hoops as they get ready for their matchup tonight at 9:30 against Mizzou.
This was a big win. Any win in this league's big. We've kind of tinkered with our lineups all year. I do like the lineup that we've started the last couple of games. Dylan James is playing as well as he's played since he's left high school. All three of our freshmen are playing well. I thought DeLoach gave us some good minutes the other day. Russell Chu and Noah Thomason continue to play the best basketball of their career. So playing with a certain level of confidence, but we've got to turn the page. It's a new season. It's a clean slate, fresh start, if you will, for us and for Missouri, a team that's whose record I don't think represents really who they are. That they play as hard as anyone in our league. They're very, very connected. They've got veteran leadership. They've lost by an average of 10 points a game. I mean, they've been very, very competitive. They're coming off a game they're down 19 with 4 minutes and lost by, or cut it to 3, lost by 4. I mean, we're gonna have to play really well.
Is there any amount of pressure, if you will? Obviously, Missouri's a team that is just desperate. They have been so close to getting that one-win fit. It almost like some pressure playing a winless team because you guys are going to be favored.
We're desperate too. We want to go to the NCAA tournament. We want to finish strong. So I just don't see that as being a factor. I think it's just going to come down to how well Missouri plays and how well we play.
What stands out about their style of play and what they look?
Changing defenses, pressure defense, ability to turn you over, to make you do things out of the ordinary a little bit offensively, kind of take you out of your offensive sets and schemes. Again, they're a team too that's continues to be resilient and connected. They play really hard.
That Missouri game was the first of the SEC slate. Obviously, you've had an opportunity to really see your team grow and develop. Just what have you learned about this team, and talk about that improvement year over year as well?
Yeah, I think our role identification has improved, has become a little bit more clear steadily throughout the year. Going back to an earlier comment, Russ and Noah have kind of settled in over time and have learned gradually how to be a part of something a little bit bigger, as opposed to being the guy as they were at their last stops. And our freshmen have grown. We've gotten better on the defensive glass throughout the year. We've gotten better overall rebounding, our attention to detail, our accountability there. Our physical toughness, I think, has improved gradually throughout the year. We still have some deficiencies, 2-point percentage defense, protecting the rim, blocking shots, things like that. But we've also morphed a few times offensively as to what our attack is based on the opponent. So this team's gotten better at making some of those changes. Hopefully we can finish strong.
Mike, how important is that for, I guess, retention purposes now? We're in this whole new free agency era, and also just general direction, momentum of the program.
You just don't know moving forward. When the ball stops bouncing for this team, we'll have meetings with all of our guys, and I'm sure every team in our league will be doing the same thing, really throughout college basketball, not only Power 5, but throughout its entirety. And those conversations will lead to decisions by staffs and by, for the most part, young people as to what they're looking for, what's most important to them. You just can't spend a lot of time worrying about that right now. You do the best you can with the next opponent and the scout and your current team, and we've got enough pieces and we've got enough buy-in, I think, to play well tomorrow. We'll have to play well, but Missouri does too. They've got length and athleticism and 3 really good shooters and some bigs that can step out and shoot. And again, veteran guards that scored a lot of points, made a lot of threes. They're a good team.
Any health update on Jabri?
And he hasn't gone yet. It's just day to day. We'll see how he feels. We'll have a practice tonight, so we'll see if he does anything tonight.
And I guess that being said, if you guys get to go where you want to go, 5 games in 5 days, just what would that take, physically on your team? What has to happen?
A lot. Yeah, we've got to do our best creatively to keep guys as fresh as possible. Everyone's in the same boat, though. I know we can be fresh as heck on Thursday, but if we don't win on Wednesday, it doesn't matter, right? So it's if guys got to play 35, if they're playing really well, if they got to play 40, so be it. It's about trying to beat Missouri by 1 point, and surviving and advancing. So we'll worry about staying fresh. If you happen to be up big in a game, but that doesn't happen to us very often this year.
Mike, we were talking about the metrics a second ago, and obviously you guys are much further ahead. You had a 10-game win streak. You beat 3 ACC teams.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just look at the record and say the same, but in terms of the growth and the culture, how would you maybe explain just how much the program's grown with
firmness of the direction?
Yeah, our overall record isn't overly pretty. It's not what we wanted. That said, though, we are significantly better. I mean, I think you could ask our opponents. We're a better team. We're more competitive. Our point differential, as I talked about with Missouri's, is better than it was a year ago. We're more competitive. We've had chances. We've been close. In a few where if you hold on to a couple of those leads, we're potentially sitting here as a bubble team. That didn't happen to this point, but there's still basketball ahead of us. We'll continue to try to improve in certain areas, but
let's quickly talk some NFL free agency here. Obviously, there's millions upon millions of dollars flying off the table in free agency being given out to potential free agents. Obviously, the news has been out for some of these guys for a few days now. Yeah. It just couldn't become official till today. Guys like Kirk Cousins, of course, signing with the Falcons and everything that they've done.
$180 million.
Big money for Kirk, right? I know I definitely went in on that one yesterday. I wonder how many people got mad at me, but whatever. Anyway, but today, though, even when you look at former Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley, big bag alert, major bag alert, 4 years, $92 million. About $50 million guaranteed for a guy who missed the entire 2022 season because of the whole gambling thing. But good for him. He bounced back last year, had a bounce back year with the Jaguars, and cashed in big time.
Big time with the Tennessee Titans.
With the Tennessee Titans, look, I'm happy for him. I mean, he
go get the bag. As far as I'm concerned,
go get the bag.
From a player's perspective, you get as much money as you need.
Look. He definitely made back a lot of that money that he lost being out for the 2022 season. He made that money back and so much more. So I say good for him. He put the work in to get himself back, bounced back, and had a big year with Jacksonville. Now he's going to a division rival Tennessee Titans, who they have a young quarterback in Will Levis. So what that means is you have a quarterback on a rookie contract. Therefore, you can just go crazy in free agency. So that's the position that they're in. So not just him. We got Derrick Henry ended up with Baltimore. That's an interesting move, I think, there. Lots of kind of, I think for me, the biggest surprise for these first couple of days in free agency is people talk about running backs and not being able to get paid. A lot of them got paid in the free agency market.
A lot of them got paid.
Yeah, you look at Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry got some good money. Saquon Barkley in Philly. So running backs being taken care of a lot in this free agency market.
We don't have a lot of time. Let's make this quick. The Hawks suck. What are we doing?
Well, they play.
And they're still clear of a playoff spot.
Well, look, they have an opportunity.
I don't know, man.
They're in Portland tonight, right? So we'll see what happens there. I mean, they're obviously kind of spinning their wheels right now. They're dealing with injuries. They're still alive in the playoff hunt
somehow.
Look, I don't know what good that's going to do for anybody if they get into the playoffs, just because
it's not going to be a fun game to watch.
Right? Even in a play-in, they're not going to make any serious noise. Who knows what's going to happen with the roster after the season? Who knows what's going to happen with anything else? I just think they're at a point right now where it seems like they're trending downward, but they're not playing terribly, I guess. Just so maybe they'll stay in it. But look, let's be real. If they make the playoffs, they're not going to do anything serious. They're going to be gone in the first round. They'll probably get swept. And if they make the play-in tournament, who knows if they make it out of that?
No, they're not.
They're in a tough spot right now. Like I said, the Hawks are in a spot right now where the worst possible spot to be in the NBA, where basically you're not bad enough to land a franchise player through the draft, and you're not good enough to seriously compete for anything.
Nope. Send us home. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? There's so much on my mind this week. I'm just going to continue to monitor NFL free agency and maybe some of the trades. Look, Justin Fields still hasn't – we don't know what's going to happen with that, right? I mean, a lot of teams have fulfilled their needs for a quarterback through free agency, and trades will be, who knows what will happen in the trade market for Justin Fields. But he was a guy who was once rumored to be headed to the Falcons. That wasn't the case. So who knows what happens with him moving forward if the Bears do draft Caleb Williams. I think it's going to be interesting to see if Justin Fields has a starting position next year.
All right, we got to get out of here. For Scott Pennyman, I'm Elliot Parker. Have a good night. It's been Sports Tonight. See ya.
See you tomorrow.